Hey everyone, it's Tiffany from Let's Get Scrappy, and I am back with a kind of sort of process video showing you how I do some of the things on my project. This is a Country Craft Creations design team project using Doodlebug Summer Fun collection. And I probably need to turn this around because I might need to use that. But I thought we'll do some of the matting together. We'll see. I have some things already put together, but I know you guys sometimes like to see how I put on my ribbon or my magnets, etc. So we're just gonna go ahead and do this together. And like I said, I have some things already in place, but we will go through it. And if you have not already seen the walkthrough video, I will make sure that is in the description box below. And for the most part, when doing my project, I use this, or my old school method was always to use paper clips. Before I glue anything down, I like to put everything into place on my projects. I feel better when I do that, because sometimes I change my mind, and I've changed my mind like 10 times on this sucker. I'm just gonna say that. Because let me make sure I don't mess up the back of that flap. I just, I'll work the paper and then I'm just like, oh no, I want something else. So I like to temporarily put my things down in place where I want them. So this piece is not on because I'm gonna make it a pocket. So I wanted to put this piece down first, which we'll just go ahead and do that. I'm just using a leftover cut off because you don't need a full sheet of it. If you want a full sheet, you go for it. But this piece, if I can get it, and sorry if you guys can hear, excuse me. I moved my filming area into the main craft room, because the other craft room, well, it is kind of, the other room that I have as a filming room is way too hot. This week is like 90 degrees. And so I'm having a hard time filming in there because it's too hot in that room. So this room has the portable AC, which I turned off right before filming because it's too loud to film. But I do have my fan on. So if you guys hear that, I'm sorry, but this is an ice in the bra moment. It's just toasty, and it's early in the morning. I'm just saying it's toasty. So this piece is 5 3/4 by 4 3/8 if you want to know what I'm using. And I'm just gonna kind of center it at the top. I don't even need to put it all the way, but glue on all the way is what I'm trying to say. Because most of this will be covered up. Oh, and I could see, I probably should have checked my glue. I had my glue bottle open a little bit too long last night. Where is my, right under there. So I'm just gonna come in and lay that down. Hopefully this video turns out okay. Like I said, I'm in a new spot, so. Okay, I don't even have these glued together yet. I'm gonna glue these together. No, we're just gonna do one at a time. Let's just do one at a time. So I want this as a pocket. So I'm just gonna make sure my glue is unclogged. And I still have like a raspy voice, so sorry about that. I feel like it's gonna stay for, it's been over a month. It's almost 2 months now. So I feel like it's just gonna be with me for a while. Sorry. Okay, just trying to make sure my glue is ready to go. It's probably not. You know, when you start filming, I just need to get the little booger out of there. So I'm just gluing on 3 sides. You can use tape if you like tape. Of course, now my dog wants out of the room. So we're gonna have to hold on here in a second. Because you know, you gotta drop everything for these fur babies. Okay, so I didn't put this pocket all the way down to the bottom, so I have good clearance there. Hold on, Shug, I'm coming, I'm coming. Okay, hold one sec, let me let her out. I should have known better than to start a video with her in the room, because she doesn't actually like to stay in a closed door room. But she wants to come in and then she wants to go out. Okay, let's see, where's my pokey tool? I don't know. Oh, right there. At least I don't have to go far for all the things I'm gonna forget. It's just on the other table, which is nice. So this piece here is 5 3/4 by 6 1/8. But always like measure yours, even though you know we give you guys measurements and stuff. I mean, which I usually don't, because you guys don't usually get this part. I usually save like matting for with pattern paper for my retreats, just because it's so much work for me to do these videos. But I'm trying to squeeze in a few for you guys because you have asked for them. But it does take me a lot longer because I don't edit. Don't know how. Don't want to know how. But it also, I do one project and then for the tutorial I build another book, where some people just do it all at once and they cut out all the stuff they don't want in their video. So it does take me a lot longer to do these process videos with the paper matting, but I'll try to throw in a few here and there. But what I was saying is, make sure you always measure your own project, because scoreboards and trimmers always give different measurements. I don't care what anyone says, always gives different measurements. So I'm going to put this piece on here. And with these are on the sticker sheet. I just put them on white scrap cardstock and then fussy cut and then glued it on, just to have a little tab. Plus I like the little color pop. So we are, oh shoot, oh yeah, no, I did that right. So for the other two, you're just gonna glue in the middle here, just like that. And probably I'm gonna add just a little down here, just a little bit, and then line it up with the bottom. And so another tip, if you want to save on paper, just want to make sure I'm matched up as best I can. If you want to save on pattern paper, you didn't have to do this big of a piece. It could just be a scrap, but we are making a little, it's not big, but a little accordion here. Let me make sure this is down good. So you will see a little bit of opening, but you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to use this big of a piece. I am, but it's not necessary. So all of these are going to be 5 3/4 wide, and then this one should be 5 1/8. And I'm just putting my glue on there. And with this new filming area, I'm not even sure if I'm in frame. And kind of center that. And burnish. Make sure everything, especially your edges when gluing things down. You do not want, especially if you're giving things as a gift, you do not want to have your edges coming up. So to me, the edges are more important than the middle. Okay, now we have this piece here. We're gonna do the same thing where we glue in the middle. And then we're gonna put a little bit down here. Just got glue on my ribbon. Okay. And again, line it up. Burnish in the middle. You can with the back, if you don't want the back as a pocket, the very back, you could make that an accordion too and just glue, all these just glue down the center. I don't know why I'm pressing on the sides that don't have glue, but okay. So this little piece is, again, 5 3/4 wide, and it should be by 4 1/8. Because I just made these pockets 1 inch shorter than the other. And we're just going to center that as best we can. Burnish. Let me just see, am I in frame? Okay, I'm still in frame. That's at least good. Ooh, that's getting toasty. Just saying. I'm trying really hard not to put that AC on. I'm just trying to clean up the little bit of glue that I had there. So I just have these like peekabooing out the top. And I have this one already glued down. You can't see it. Okay, where's the map? Let me try to go up a little bit. Nope, not even. See, this thing's big. I wonder if I go up. Hold on, let me move the camera. Maybe, maybe not. This is a new arm as well. Okay. Okay, there we go. But this piece, so my matte piece is 5 7/8 by 7 5/8. So then the pattern paper should be 7 or 5 3/4, yep, by 7 1/2. And that's if you want to do it like I did. So I have the Limeade green down first, then this green pattern. And as you saw, like through the walkthrough, I mixed up the mats, and in some spots I don't even have a mat because it's fine. I didn't want my book to get too thick, but some papers I wanted to pop more than others. So again, it's your project. You could do it however you want to do it. Okay, I'm just gonna bring this down so we can get this top portion here. So I have this one. This is a really big fold right here. Okay. So you still can't see it. I'm about to go out the table, but we're going to just do it right there. We're going to move this up. Bring this down a little bit. Okay. So this piece is different than the one I just gave you. The measurements, the width measurements are the same. So the green is 5 7/8 by 7 7/8. Then it is 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. And I already glued these two pieces together, but we're just gonna glue this one. I just wanted to save a little time on some pieces, but mostly wanted to just show you guys where I add my magnets and ribbon. And then I just hope it all works out. Oh, come on, glue. There we go. And then I just center as best I can. Oops, what is that? I don't like that little glue. And I know I get a lot of times how do I get things straight? I don't know what you guys see because my stuff is never straight. So I don't know how to help you on that. You just go with it. Mine's never straight. And sometimes, like, I'll cut, you know, those 1/8 of an inch cuts. They're not always exact. So I always just say do a dry run, test it out before you glue anything down, and you're good. And see, on that one, I wanted to add a magnet. So yeah, that was silly. Yes, I did want to add a magnet. So I'm doing this right now. This is real action here, people. I reminded myself, there is a marking on there that says magnet. So hold 1 second. And I'm gonna just stick this in there and hopefully it will work. We will find out. Otherwise, there will be no magnet. Oh, okay, so I am going to put this in here somewhere, about right there, hopefully. I don't know if it'll work. We'll find out. But that's where I need it to be. Yep. Well, okay, we're gonna glue that up. And this is the channel where you see live action surgeries. I'm just getting some glue in there. Luckily, I caught it before it fully dried up. And then we'll see if it works. I don't know if it's gonna work because I think I have it like in possibly the wrong spot where the picture is gonna go. So we'll find out. I should have figured out exactly where I wanted that, because we put this on there. So my magnet is right here. Yeah, it might not work. Maybe it'll still get through there. Even if I go this way, that's better. Maybe I will do that. But I'll have to switch. Okay, I think we're gonna do that. Which means I need this one to switch. I don't know why this sticker is off, but it's off. Meaning I had a plus and a minus, so the sticky part should have been on this outside, but it's not. So I must have put 2 batches together. Sometimes I'll, you know, consolidate my magnets to one thing because I'll have multiples open. So you can't see, but I clicked it there. Now I'm gonna close it where I want it. So I want to get everything back into place, squared up, and try to square this up before I stick it down. Okay, so let's see. That is not. Boo chakalaka. I want to make sure that this is square here, which I could go like this because that makes it square. But I want this one to be square as well, and it's not quite. Nope, I don't like that either. I'm just gonna eyeball. And yes, this is what I do. I know I'm crazy. Whatever you do, you just don't want this flap to extend past here because then your book won't sit upright. So before I burnish, I just want to make sure everything will fold nicely. Does that feel good? Yep, yep, okay. I know I have a lot of loose papers everywhere, so I'm pushing that into place. And we have that. Now we can stick this piece back on there. Which I want to see, yeah, I want my blue stripe at the bottom. See, I did tell myself M for magnet, but I didn't pay attention on that one. Like I said, if you miss it or forget, you just go with it. Just go. Go with the flow. Okay. Let me slide this into place. Burnish. And hopefully, when you do the tutorial, try to build your project when you have like these gussets. I just like to reinforce them with extra scraps of cardstock. No one ever can see it, but your book is just nice and sturdy. This just reminds me of Rainbow Bright or like Punky Brewster socks or something. Where are all my Punky Brewster fans at? Okay, so I have this done. This one is done. Now I want to lay out my little photos to make sure I get them going in the right spot now. So now I'm going to switch my angles. So I think this one, let's see. No, I have one not done yet. Okay. I'm just going to trim this a little bit because this one has a little line from the original like paper where to cut. And it's very tiny, but I can see it and it's going to drive me crazy. I could have used my trimmer, but you know, I just like to do manual labor over here. Okay, so that's better. So I'm going to have a little moment this way. I think these two, I left one not glued down. This one, yeah. Just to show you guys how I did that part. But now I need to move these. So before I glue anything down, I'm just doing a little dry fit to make sure I have things going the right direction. But because I had the magnet up there, which you cannot see, and I'm sorry about that, I'm switching it up. Okay, so let me just fold this in so you guys can see what I'm doing. So for mine, I'm going as far up. I'm not doing a big angle. Let's see, about right there. Just test this out where I want it. And right there. We go a little bit smaller angle. I don't want to cover up a ton of this because this is where a picture would go. Some will be covered, but that's okay. Okay, we're good, we're good. So now I'm gonna glue this one down first. You could do a little tick mark if you want to make sure you get it right back in the position you had it. But I'm just gonna go for it. I know about where I want it. But you want to glue this down first. And then when you glue the other piece, you will go right about there. You're not going to glue it all the way down because you want to be able to tuck a photo in here. And it could be just still like Polaroid size photo, like here. You can add still photo mats in here or temporary photo mats to tell them where to put their photo, which, you know, I still might do that when I'm done with my project. Okay, so we have that right there. I am going to Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy as well. I could see that. We're just gonna go with it, Tiffany. Just go with it. I might come back and trim that a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna do a tilt like that. But I'm not gonna do my upper corner. Again, you could glue it all the way down and still have, let's see, because you have about an inch. Yeah, so you still could glue this all the way down and still fit the little, I think these are like 2 by 2 3/4. Yeah, by 2 3/4 photo in there. I'm just gonna still, just in case someone wanted to tuck a bigger photo. So I'm just gluing on the 3 corners, and I'm gonna put that in place, and I think I wanna not have as big. So before I'm putting it all the way down, I'm adjusting how I want my photo. Okay, good enough. And then you stick it down like so. Okay, put that up there because it wants to keep falling out. So we have that one done. Goodness gracious. Now let's put the bottom ones on. It's very tricky when you have a big open project like this. So I'm gonna follow the same, you know, go in the same direction because the middle one will go a different direction. So we're just gonna put this down. I just thought it was cute to create a little like Polaroid flip up. You don't have to do this little booklet part if you don't want to. But again, I do like the option of fitting in a ton of photos. Or, well, let's be clear, not for me, because you guys know I do not put photos in these projects at all. This is all just, I have glue everywhere. Just the paper. I love the paper. I love like showcasing paper. Yeah, I don't put no photos in there. Cray. I'm always amazed at everyone that does. Okay, and then we're just gonna do, oh, did I do the, no, I did the right corner. Okay, I was thinking, did I do the wrong corner before? And I can't tell, I'm not in full frame, but you guys can, I mean, you guys got the gist of it. I'm just somewhat looking at the top one while I'm putting this on to somewhat have the same angle. It's not going to be perfect. If you are like OCD like that and want to make sure it's perfect, feel free to make those tick marks, measuring, all that good stuff. But then we'll come back and embellish this a little bit. So bring this back down, and we need to get this one on there now. And I'll show you how I glue those together. We need to do the inside too. Let's do the inside first. Tiffany, stay focused. So like this one, I do not have a mat on there. I don't have mats on these. I really liked this blue color in the collection. It was really pretty. So for if you have not seen the walkthrough yet, most of this project is made like with the B sides. I mean, maybe, I don't even know. But it's not, I wanted to gear it towards like actual, like, you know, if you went to Hawaii or something. And it doesn't have a ton of the cutesy stuff, even though it's adorable. Oh my goodness, why is there glue on there? Did I? Look, did I glue the wrong side down? Hopefully not. I can feel my double-sided, oh my gosh, not my double-sided, my repositional tape on there. And I could see it, because if for some reason this one turns pink. I mean, which is kind of nice, because then you can see where it's at. But you have to be careful when you take it off because sometimes it will take off your pattern paper print. That's not down good right there. Okay. So I'm just going to glue this one down. I already put this on there. This is 4 1/4. The pink is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then the white matte is 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. Let me put that down. And if you don't want, I'll give you the measurement of the pink flowers. If you don't want like the border that I have and you want like say a bigger border, because I cut all my papers 1/8 of an inch shorter than whatever. So if my page is 5 1/2 by 7 1/2, my mat will be 5 3/8 by 7 3/8. And then if I had another, like the pattern paper on top of a solid mat, then it would be 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. But some people, especially if it's hard for you to see and measure, like get things even with this skinny of a border, because basically this creates a 1/16 of an inch around, then cut your paper 1/4 of an inch shorter and you're golden. You have lots more wiggle room. So we have that. Right now, I'm not putting any pattern paper on the inside. I don't know if I will. I was gonna put ribbon, but I think I'm not because it's gonna get a little chunky when we add all the embellishments. And you guys know, because I do matte, my projects get chunky and heavy. Like my projects are solid. So I did just add the blue mirrored, it's cobalt blue mirrored cardstock that was in my design tee package on like the cut apart elements. And I still might add it elsewhere. You'll see the finished project in the walkthrough, but I haven't decided yet. I might save it for a different project with the leftovers. Okay, so we have that. Did I say what this piece was? I don't remember. And it'll be the same on the other side. So 5 1/2 by 7, yeah, 7 7/8. And this piece is the same. And if you are new to my channel, my tutorials are long tutorials because there is no editing. So feel free, obviously, it's your device, to fast forward to wherever you need to be. I just frankly, I'd rather be crafting and making more things than editing a ton of stuff. Like I do a little bit of editing with this, and already that, like to post a video, oh my gosh, there's so much that goes into it. So I mean, be sure to like and subscribe and really give shout outs to all the people on YouTube that you follow, because for those that do edit, it takes a lot of time and it's a lot, you guys, just saying. At least I think it's a lot, because the little bit I do, I don't even like doing that. I'm just saying. Okay. So this one here, 5 1/2 by 7 7/8. Yep. And then the beach scene is 5 3/8 by 7 3/4. And I'm not adding like any type of magnets or anything, because these all get folded up underneath that one area that we already did a magnet on. So it's not necessary. Okay, then we have this side. I don't really know what I'm doing with the pocket yet, but we're going with it. So this piece, I glued my pocket on there on accident, the white part, because I had this all like done, and I was like, huh, I want to add some corner pockets right here, because why not? I didn't need to add glue onto that side, but I did, because it's going to be inside the triangle pockets, and it's harder to get them in there when you have glue on them, but we're going to give it a go. You just hope it all gets where it needs to. Get in, get in. Okay, I think we're good. Good enough. So I'm going to fold it over this way so I don't crush my box. So usually when I'm just doing like my own project and not, you know, well, I don't even know that I do projects anymore and not show them on video with a tutorial, because you guys always ask for a tutorial anyways. But ideally, I like to map my stuff first before I put my stuff in my book. One, this is gonna drive me crazy. Just because if I mess up, it's not in the book yet. I could redo whatever, but also I don't like to crush things or get things in the way. This one is good. Sure. Okay. So now we have the triangles, and all I did with this is the blue was the same as the other one, but this was, I want to say 2 3/4. Yes. So I cut this 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then I cut it down. I cut it at a diagonal, but then put it on. If it was too big, I'd only cut on this side. I just would cut off like a 1/16 of an inch on the larger part of the triangle. Same here. But I will tell you guys, I cut this 3 times, this square 3 times, because I wanted my waves to go the same way. So you really have to think about, no matter what, like for me. Now, if you don't care, it's no big deal. I almost put down the triangle that went the other direction, but I really wanted it to go the same way. But you have to cut it twice if you have a directional paper. If you don't, if it was just like the polka dots, you could just cut it once on the diagonal and you're done. But for me, I had to cut it 3 times because I kept messing up. The pattern kept going this way for this triangle, and I wanted it to go this way on both. So just a tip for you to think about where you are cutting and where it's going to land on that triangle if the paper is directional. Just going to take off a little bit of that. And I know like 2 3/4 is gonna be too big for sure, but I would rather be able to trim off than to cut too small. So it's totally up to you. If you want to go like 2.5 by 2.5, you can do that, or you can get a scrap piece of paper, better yet, like just like a scrap white or black or something, and make sure it fits first before you cut up your pattern paper. But I did these at the very end, so I used my small scraps before cutting into the, you know, I cut my big stuff and then used the scraps to do the small stuff. Woo, it's a toasty. I'm just going to put that back in there. You'll see the finished results in the walkthrough because I have no idea what I'm doing yet. So it looks like that. Man, what is that outside? Sounds like something scratching something. What do we have to do? Okay, we have to do these. So for these two, I'll make sure I don't have any of this temporary anywhere. So excuse my reach, peeps, excuse my reach. Okay, so let me just fold this up for a sec. So I just took these. You have this in the, you know, in the tutorial. I tell you the measurements. And I just want to look. I got a little fray right there. So I just glue this piece on. Okay, but I do use my scoreboard. It just helps. You don't have to do this at all. And I kind of put that corner in first and then put that on. And I do have to do like a little trimming because this was kind of like the measurement was off a little bit to make it even. So at least I try to get like 2 sides even. So I only have to trim the other 2 sides. Okay, so I'm going to just put my scissors up against that bottom piece. Cut. Again, scissors, I'm putting it up against the top piece that I put on the booklet. You can use your trimmer. I can see I didn't get that quite straight right there. Okay, so good enough. And my top just right here a little bit. Okay, there we go. So that piece is done. That's how I put that together. Then we have this one. And I did do the same thing, like I just put it, I mean, it could go this way, either way. Just so I could eyeball, I think it's like a 1/4 of an inch border. So just, again, eyeballing. It's not going to be perfect if you are just eyeballing. And we know my eyeballs are crooked, so, I mean, literally, they're starting to go. The M51 is a whole ballgame. You think you're good, and then boom, it's all hitting you at once. I mean, it really started with 50, but 51 starting the hot flashes. Let me tell you. Okay. So flip this back up. So again, lots of photo opportunities in this project here. So again, I'm just kind of eyeballing where I'm gonna want these. So I have like a mental picture. Okay, that looks good. That's where I want that one. They could all go the same direction. They could be straight. I just thought it was fun to do kind of a little, like, you know, pin up with the Polaroids. We're just gonna stick that down. Just go for it, Tiffany, just go for it. And this page is a little smaller than those, so this one will look a little different because we don't have as much space to work with. Okay, then let's put this one down. We're gonna do this corner. Under there, and I just want to leave a slight little triangle like the others. Okay, good enough. I just had a look. I'm like, oh, I really hope I am recording. Okay, So that is done, right? This is a smaller piece. I might come back in, add some color again. You guys will see from the walkthrough what I do. Then we have this piece here that I already have together. You don't have to use this much. I just had it, so I was like, oh, I'm just sticking it in. You don't even have to use this much of the pink. It could be a little bit smaller. But I am big on, if it's going in a pocket, I don't need things to go all the way down. People don't look in there and say, oh, she didn't use a full sheet of paper. I like to make the most of my cardstock because, you know, our crafty supplies are expensive and we like to buy lots of it. So I like to make it last, and that's just me. I didn't need to do all that glue down there because, again, it's going in a pocket. I'm not thinking. So hopefully I can get it in before it dries. That's always the trick. And I got the bottom piece good because I put my tape on there. Nice. Ooh, that's not nice. See if I can get this back up. Ooh, I don't think so. Oh my gosh, okay. Let's try. Go. Don't do it. Oof, I get it. Good enough. Going with it. We are going with that. I don't want to crush this. Oof. And I might have to come back and add some glue to that top corner. Now, let's just get this little piece. So, the piece that I had, go this way. The mat was 5 7/8. So this is 5 3/4 by, we did like 5 1/2. I think that pink piece was. This one is 5 7/8. I did not put a mat, like a second solid mat on this one because I had the teal. It's like it's already teal or blue, whatever color that is. Swimmingpool, I think. So, like I said, you can, or you don't have to. You don't have to do any matting. I know this is driving somebody crazy that I'm not matting the entire thing, and that's okay. It is all right. And I do have a piece that we want to stick on here. Mine's a little snap, crackle, pop because I did not get that inside pocket when I put that down burnished fast enough. And when you do that with art glitter glue, it creates like a little crackling sound. Okay, so we have that. What piece goes on there? Do I have that with me? Yes, I do. It's the little booklet. Okay, so we have this piece. Oh, pooper scooper, I did it again. Here we go. Surgery. You guys know I mess up on every project. I had R written down for ribbon. I can't. Like, something's wrong with me. I'm just gonna see if I can get most of this bottom off for a second. I mean, the bottom of the bottom. This is my favorite tool. Okay, I forgot I wanted to put a ribbon there. We'll see if it even works. So I have some of this 1/8 of an inch ribbon. It is cut to 8 1/2. I think it was, I was going to do 8, so I just eyeballed it. But I have another piece somewhere that matches. I have some pre-cut. Maybe it was matching in another lifetime. Oh, there it is. Okay, I do have it. Oh, let's see if we can make this happen. I'm gonna try to squeeze some tape in there just for some extra reinforcement. And I want this right in the middle. I'm just gonna try to get this right there. I'm just trying to get it anywhere in there. Just get it in there. Can you guys still see? Okay. So this is just surgery. You have to have a degree a crafting doctor's degree in order to perform surgeries. Just saying. I know, I'm such a dork. Okay, so that was in there. Stay in there. I'm just going to keep this in there, prop that sucker open for a second. I do want to add just some glue. I don't even know if this is going to work. I mean, it's going to work because I want it to work. I'm going to have this go up. I'm going to put a little glue in there. Just hold tight. Just to kind of help it. I don't ever want my projects to fall apart. Okay, now let's just, before I glue anything down, am I somewhat centered? Maybe right about there. No, that looks off. Okay, hold on. Let me find my center. Negative, negative. What are we, 6 inches? Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. Alrighty. Okay, now we're going to get that down, but I have to add glue everywhere else now. Close it up. Surgery is going great. There should be no complications afterwards. Just kidding. Girl has issues over here. This is what happens when I like talk to myself, basically. Okay. And hopefully this is actually what I want to do, because you just never know. Let's get this burnished down. I want to push the glue inward, so I start on the outside. Just to make sure and burnish that tape. I'm telling you, there's always a way to fix something. And again, even if I forgot and could not get it, then so be it. There did not need to be a tie here. I'm just doing it as an extra option. What I do with my little thing, because I have another little booklet right here that we are going to glue down. You could put pattern paper back there, but it's going on the pocket. I don't think it's necessary. Okay, so just kind of centering that. See, I have glue coming out already. Okay, let's put the other piece down. Add this ribbon. Over just a little bit more, because I'm gray. A little bit more. Okay. And then usually I like to just add a piece over the top, even though I'm going to glue on the top piece, but it just kind of helps reinforce that. Right here, blending in. Get our adhesive on there. So I already added, it's a cut apart on top of the cobalt blue. So if the cut apart is 3 by 4, then the cobalt blue is going to be 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. But always double check your cut aparts, because again, sometimes the measurements are not all the same from all the companies to be a cut apart, like a 3 by 4. Okay. See, that's crooked, but it's all good. So lots of photo spots. This thing's jam-packed with photo spots. Okay, so let's see if this works. I don't know. I love the 1/8 inch ribbon. one because it's easier to tie when you have fat chub fingers like me. And oopsie, I should be using my other scissors. This is not working. I will put either my glue on there or just use my lighter to seal that up. But there's that piece. Okay, so we have that in there. Is this right? This is all right. Seeing everything line up. Yes. Okay. I am gonna just glue this piece down. This is the pink, which I think is raspberry, I think. Ooh, I don't remember now. 1 3/8 by 7 7/8. Then the pattern paper is 1 1/4 by 7 3/4. I do want to do the cover with you. I don't want this video to be too long. So I'll do a little bit on this other side and then maybe hop to the cover because I don't want this video to go over an hour and a half, because it's going to be really hard to, well, not hard, it just takes a longer time to process when they're really long, because they're like, girl, what are you doing posting these long videos on YouTube? You know, that's just what it's saying in my head. Oh my gosh, did I put that in the right spot? Hopefully I did. Okay, it's done. And put that there. Of course, my husband just walked in. Okay. So we have that. Now, I know I want a ribbon somewhere else over here, so I'm going to do that first. Ooh, did I already glue this stuff down, I think? Oh, no, I did not. Oh, my gosh. Okay, I'm going to do, yep, a ribbon there. So let's just get that over with before I do it. So these are like 9 inches. I don't even know, is that going to work? Yes, that's going to work. What am I talking about? Wait, is it? That might not actually work. Hold, please. That is going to be a little snug. I think I'm going to, get like, I'm going to do one that is longer. So I'm going to do like, let's do 11 inches. Just so I have a little wiggle room just in case. And then once we get on there, you'll find out if it needed to be 11 or 9. Okay. So I'm going to that there. I have to be very careful because I have that shadow box under here, so I can't press too hard. And I do recommend before you put your shadow box in, you do all this other stuff first. Okay, so we're gonna go this way. I think I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit because we are gonna have a photo mat there. I didn't necessarily want it centered. I think I'm gonna come down a little bit. I don't want it necessarily right on top of someone's picture. Not my picture, but someone's picture. Oh my goodness. Okay. Ah! I'm trying to grab my phone folder and it's slipping from me. So we're going to do it right about there. Like so. It's getting toasty. I really need the AC on. My craft room gets the, what do you call it? the morning sun, and it is already hot here. Like, it's heat warning right now. And ooh, let's put this down. What am I looking for? This. So this piece is 5 3/4 by 7 7/8. I have no mat, but that, you know, no solid mat. I mean, each of these is a mat, but we're not double matting this page because I can. I just was kind of over it. Plus, I didn't want to use up all of my Doodlebug solid, even though I've used up most already. That was in my design team package. I want some for another project I'm gonna do. I can't do it really hard because of the shadow box. So just making sure the ends are down. A light little burnish. Now I could, oh, that's so cute. I'll do this just so I can get it a little bit better. A little more pressure. Okay. So that is on there. I might as well, while we're right here, do this piece. This is just one of the cut aparts. So I put this down first and then I measured the little scrap piece that I had at the end. Again, these small, skinny little pieces are all after I do all my big cuts first to see what I have. And sometimes you might not have a scrap piece that you want to use and have to cut into a, you know, a full sheet, but I try not to if possible. I'm just gonna go like this and like that. Give it a good burnish. Okay. Nope, it was on that side. Dork butt. Goodness gracious. Okay. Okay, so we have that. On there. Again, I'm not putting a ton of pressure on my shadow box side. I think that's good enough right there. Okay. I'm gonna do this one because we're right here. Why not? This piece is 4 1/4 by 7 7/8. I don't know, I didn't really want to use the yellow on this part right here, but it worked. So we're just going with it. Over. A lot more pressure. Okay. So we have that, and then I'm going to put this on there. that down. So this is just another little booklet. Again, I don't know what I'll do as far as like if I'm gonna put stuff on the inside or not. When I use the wet glue, I like to bend it just a little bit so when it dries, it's not going the other way. Okay, so we're just gonna put that down. I'm just doing like, I don't know, like 1.5 inches of adhesive. You can make a tick mark, like you can make a tick mark on the back if you need help of where to put your adhesive. Okay. And I'll probably, I'm not sure, but I'll probably come back and maybe just add some pattern paper right back here, but it's not needed. It could just stay white. But if I do, I'll just slide a little sliver down behind there and put pattern paper there, but we'll see. Okay. So this is done, but I want to get this one on there. Okay, and where do I want? I want this right here. Yep, that's where I marked it. Right there. So I'm going to get my longer piece. I think. Do I have a longer piece? Which one? Yes. This one here. And CCC has a ton of, not a ton, why did I say a ton? Has a lot of options for this 1/8 inch ribbon. I want to say, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 colors. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not a ton, but there's some good options. These are just nice for like waterfalls. I love 1/8 inch ribbon. It's so fun to work with because it's easy. Okay, so I've kind of eyeballed where I want this. Just looking. And you could do something like this, you know, and see if that's somewhere where you want it. But once it's tied, it doesn't really matter. And I like to, because it's curved this way, so I want my curve going upward. I don't know why I have to do it like that, but that's just how I do it. So I'm just sharing. And I usually come in like a 1/2 inch. That does not necessarily look straight, but oh well, I can't see. This table that I'm doing the filming on is way taller than my normal, so it's all good. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this waves piece on here. And this is 5 3/4 by 7 7/8. Yep. I didn't use any of this side. It is cute, but I really wanted the waves, the water, to kind of be like my solid to break up some of the pattern. And then I hadn't used the orange starfish yet, so I was like, oh, let me just put it right here. Because again, I don't want to use up all my favorite pieces of pattern paper all in this one project, because I want to make something else. So just kind of, you know, using some things here and there. Okay, I think I'm good. What is this? Oh, why is it not going down? That's weird. Okay. What is happening? Oh, would be why. I put reinforcements on here, and I think I'm going to put it down a little too far, and so it needs to just be worked a little bit. It's all good. It all works out. Okay, so this piece is 4 1/8 by 7 7/8. Then this one is 4 by 7 3/4. Just making sure I don't need anything else. No magnets, no ribbon. I mean, you didn't even have to have a magnet here, because you could have put the bottom of this bow on the other page. That would have been smarter. But you know, sometimes those things don't come to you until after you do stuff. Plus, I just like hearing a magnet go clink, clink. Burnish that down good. I just really like to make sure my ends are the ones that are down. You don't want things to start lifting over time or to get caught. So that's where I focused. Did I put these down? Nope, I didn't put any of that down. Why not? I don't know. I think we are at 112. Okay, I'm going to do the cover after I get this part done, and then if there still is time before an hour and 30 minutes, I will do the inside part where the shadow box is. But I mean, you guys can see this is pretty easy. So this piece should be what we just did for that first mat, which was what, 4 1/8 by 7 7/8. I'm squishing the back piece here. Okay, I'm just gonna, when you have these folios, it's a lot of work to maneuver them. Okay, then we want to put this one on there. Again, these cut aparts are all the same. I did already glue on the main cut apart onto the cobalt blue. Give it a good burnish. Okay, so we have that. We'll bring this back over here. We have a photo mat that we need to stick on. This is the same size of what I've shown before. And it's gonna go like that, because I don't know why I like to, if you guys have not noticed, I like to have a moment when you open up a folio, an album, for you to have one like staple, like photo option. So usually I always, like I said, for the most part, I like for you to be able to put a photo just right there. Yep, did not want to do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my gosh. Whew, goodness gracious. You'll be able to see this, and I'll fix it later. You'll be able to see it in the walkthrough of how I do that. Or don't, if I forget. I did not want glue all the way around, like I said, and that's not where I want it. There we go. We're gonna go there. Real life, peeps. Real life over here. So because I did that, if I forget to do it in the walkthrough, you will come back in, because see, you could see where the glue is. You could just add a scrap piece, or you can get another scrap of the pink, put it on there. Nobody will ever know. They'll never know. Okay. So let's see. Oh my goodness gracious. I got glue everywhere. I do have some. Let's see. I do want these. Again, you'll see in the actual video. I think I'm gonna put this on here like so. I'm either gonna do that, or I'm gonna change the sentiment, because there are sentiments that you can use. And then we are going to glue this on here to see how I want to do that. Okay, I think the glue is just gonna go right about there. Before I put it all the way down, yeah, I can see it a little bit. There we go. Because I still want to be able to slide a photo in, so I'm just sticking it to right there. I want this one up there, so we're gonna put it on like the leafy bits. Sounds like something naughty. Or just always in my mind it does. If you guys haven't noticed, I use my bone folder to get all my glue. Either that or the hands. One or the other. Okay, do I want it like that, or do I want it like that? I think I want it like that. Yep. I don't want to cover up this flower because I like the fuchsia part of it. So I'm just forcing my way in as much as I can. There we go. Exfoliate your fingers. Ooh, they're so soft and smooth. Okay, so this will tie up. Now another option, do it this way. I should have did my long on the other side. Another option for tying, I do think 11 on both is better, but another option could be to put your ribbon on these parts and then cover this with pattern paper if you don't want them underneath your pattern paper right here, because you know, over time it could start pulling. I've never had it, but it could. But that'll be cute once you put a photo in there, and I will trim this up a little bit. Okay, but so here's what we're looking like. So let's do the back first. And I'm gonna get my other score tape, my fatter, chunky score tape. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little down, eyeball center. You can measure. And I'm gonna do the teal sheer ribbon, and I think it's the goldenrod seam binding. I think this is turquoise, not teal. So I'm gonna do 12 inches right about there. I'm gonna do 2 of those, which I could have just measured from that one, but why do things easy here? Okay. Same thing here. I'm gonna double up my ribbon. So we have the goldenrod seam binding. I think I made this just a little longer in case I want to knot up the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna put that over there. So we have 2. So right now, I'm gonna add the turquoise first. Let's see, okay, if that is center. Right about there. I just like to come and add a little bit more when I'm doing my double. Then we're going to add some score tape just to seal it up. There we go. And then for the back, I chose this paper. So our book is 6x8. So the swimming pool, I think this is swimming pool, is 5 7/8 by 7 7/8. Then the pattern floral paper is 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. And I'm just gonna take off my score tape. I usually, again, with my covers, I do like the 2 glue method. I like to do score tape and glue. Just because I want to make sure with score tape, I know that my ends will be glued down all the way. So I like to do both. And which way is this book going? Not that it matters with this pattern paper, but so before I stick it all the way down, I'm kind of eyeballing to see what I want. Kind of have that and that. I'm telling you, every time I do this, it still comes out crooked. It's okay. Just go with the flow. I can't press too hard because of that shadow box. But I do want to make sure there is a good burnish. Seal it all up around your ribbon. Do you have to use ribbon? No, you don't. There's lots of people who do not like the foo-foo ribbon. Just saying. Okay. I'm going to come in because I could see. There we go. So this is what the back is looking like. Now we're going to do, let's do the spine. Got stuff all over the place. It's gonna get covered, but you know, nope, that doesn't even work. All right, so this piece should be like 1 3/8. Yeah, so the turquoise, nope, the teal, the swimming pool. All of those and above. 1 3/8 for the first mat by 7 7/8. Then the pattern paper is a 1 1/4 by 7 3/4. Again, I have the 2 glue combo. So glue up there is driving me crazy. So kind of looking before I stick it all the way down. That looks good enough. There we go. And for the front cover, we want our ribbon. See, we're almost at that time. So right about there. Add a little glue. Again, I like to put, see it naturally curves. I just put that facing down. But sometimes I have it facing up depending upon how it's tying. I mean, again, it doesn't matter. And then just tip for seam binding. You could either make yours crinkly by spritzing it with some water and then crinkling it up in your hands. Or if you want it straighter, because sometimes when you get it, it has creases in it, kinks, you can just take a flat iron or an iron on very low temp and just lightly run that through and it comes out perfect. Just perfect. I'm going to seal that up. Okay, then I'll put this piece on. So this is the piece that is 5 7/8 by 7 7/8. And I have a mess going on here. Eyeballing, kinda sorta, good enough. Try not to put a ton of pressure on my actual book as I'm doing this. Oh my goodness, it's so hot. Okay. So just want to make sure I'm keeping my shape. Ooh, these lights are hot too. That's what it is. Okay, that goes over there. So let's make sure we have our book going the right direction before we put anything down. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so I have this piece. It doesn't have to be this big, but it is basically 1.5 by 7 3/4, dry fit. Good enough. Yep, good enough. We're going with it. Like I said, I really liked that blue. Okay. So we have that down. Boop, boop. Now I just used one of my border punches. You don't have to do this at all. I'm going to use this as a guide, so it's like a 1/2 inch scrap piece, and I'm going to use my mat as just kind of a guide of where I'm going to stick this down. So I'm leaving about 1/4 inch of white showing. And I picked this border punch. This is just one from my stash. You can use any, but I just picked because, you know, there was a little scallop piece. I feel like it looks very close. And then I'm gonna see where I want this, like that. There we go. Dry fit, make sure this all kind of matches up before I stick it down. You can use like Doodlebug doilies, which I usually do, but this time I'm just letting the little like lace trim kind of do its thing. So before I totally burnish, I'm just making sure I have it where I want it. There we go. Just love that snap, crackle, pop. No, I do not. Okay. Where's my big one? I must have dropped it. Yep, it's on the floor behind me. Okay. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I already glued these together. Let me just real quick, because we're already at our time. 4 5/8 by 4 5/8, and then the green is 4, oh, a little bit less than 4 1/2. A little bit less than 4 1/2. That's weird. And I think that was just like a scrap size that I had. 4 1/8 by 4 1/8 for the pink. And then you have the cut apart that is a 4 by 4. And I kind of just put X's to remind me, don't glue this whole thing down. I'm going to make it a little pocket. some glue in that corner, not that much glue in that corner. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do mine. I'm gonna do it, I am, like you could go in here, but it pretty much takes up the whole space here. I'm gonna go off of that color, kind of in the center, kind of, sorta. And I have to make sure this side gets all the way down, just because there's a little lip right there. Little lip. It's not wanting to stay. I could set something on there, like you probably should add just like a little strip of extra cardstock to lift it up, but it's gonna stay. Just needs a little guidance, a little direction. Okay, and then that's where I'm gonna tuck 2 little thingamabobbers. So I am going to stick these on, but not right now. Let's see. Oh, I have them over here. So I just took 2 of these. I don't know if this is going to be the end result, but this is kind of the idea of what I want in here. So it's going to be something like that. This will go on here, but I want to make sure this is the sentiment I want to keep. And then I'll come back and I will add some cardstock to the inside here. But real quick, I know I'm over the time I said I wanted to do, but I do just want to show you the inside here. Oh, I'm like, why will that not open? Duh. I'm going to put this back in there. I did trim this a little bit to fit in the pocket. So these 2 should be the same size. 5 3/4. Yeah, 5 3/4. Okay, so let me just do one with you. I don't know what color yet I want to do in here. You'll see in the finished product, but I was playing with, like, you know, either the solid pink or this pink or even the cobalt blue. But I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let me just glue this yellow down. So the yellow is 5 3/4 by 7 7/8. But again, just make sure you kind of remeasure yours before you do my cuts. You just, you know, you just want to make sure. Oop, the glue is getting boogery. It is not liking me. I'm getting a little sweaty. Whew. Okay, so that is Bumblebee. I think that is the color we're using for here. This piece, I just cut the wave paper 5 5/8, and I think just by, yeah, I just cut it by 6 to use the whole strip. So I cut it first by 12, or no, by 5 5/8 down, and then in half at 6. Even though you don't need to have, I'm going to put this upside down. You don't need to have that much because it's going inside the pocket, but I was just like, I'm just going with it. Nope, I want to go that way since I already have the glue on there. Not the glue, but the repositional glue showing. That nice hot pink. Just ignore me. Sometimes I just talk out loud. Just go with the flow. Okay. So this is what I mean by you don't need all of this blue if you don't want to, because you could see a good portion is covered up by this pocket. So you could even do by like 5 and be fine if you want to save some of your pattern paper. But I'm just doing, again, a little dry fit here. I think I'm going to pop a little bit of the cobalt blue. I am, just for an added touch. Just a sliver. And these were just cut-offs from the other cuts I was making. And I'll tell you what size piece this is here in just a second. Make sure I don't get glue on everything. Okay, so for the roadside piece, it is 3.5 by 5 5/8, but I did, this is the other portion here, so I cut this off the bottom, but I was strategic on where I wanted like my cut to be, so I think there was a little bit more here. Do I have this piece of paper? What is this? Yes, I do. Let me look and see. I know we're supposed to be done, but I do want to make sure I show you guys. Did I use the very bottom? Oh, I did use the very bottom. Yeah, I used the bottom. So I just took it off from the bottom down here because I wanted the road at the bottom. This is like my little beach scene. Now, ideally when I got done, because I will add some photo mats in here and it'll probably be the sunshine photo mat, but I was like, I should have did the sun as the background and then the waves as the photo mat. I thought that would have looked cuter, but this is just where I went first right away. So you just, you know, again, you go with it. Now, if you have like the wave punch that Country Craft Creation has, I think they still have some stock. I'll try to remember to link it, but that would be cute as a border with the cobalt blue mirrored cardstock. So you're just gluing on 3 sides. I tap it into place first before I burnish. Make sure I have it where I want it. And then I just come in and do that. And burnish it down. So just 3 sides, and that creates your little pocket without having to do a cardstock pocket. Okay, so you'll just do the same thing for the other side. This you do with the shadow box. Add this. This is really easy, this piece, just in case you missed it, but it is, let's see, a little bit less than 5 7/8 by a little bit less than 7 7/8 because I did not want it exactly the same size as the book because I didn't want to chance the box being bigger than the book, because once it's together, it's together. So this just comes together really easy. You just glue this to the flap. You have your pattern paper in there and you're good to go. So that is the project for my Country Craft Creations August design team project using Doodlebug Summer Fun, and I'll fix that later, but that's just how I did like my matting and added some of my magnets and ribbon, etc. So hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing that part, and then be sure, like I said, if you haven't already, to check out the walkthrough and the tutorial, you know. And I could see this is crooked, but we just go with the flow. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Bye.